she tells me the truth.
You said you didn't do it in the shoe castle. Now the truth comes out.
Yeah, exactly. When he's
Kinda
hungover,
getting-
the truth
I
comes
said
out.
it.
Yeah.
I said
Where'd
I
you
did it.
deposit yours?
Yeah.
He was our main suspect, but we couldn't prove it.
They're not going to be able to get a conviction without the confession.
A lot of people die in
It was
war.
the
You don't
brown
get to choose.
paper. It wasn't on the shoe.
I cannot wait to hear what he's about to say.
But I left it in there because I had to
It'll
hide
dry.
We don't have any evidence. If he did not confess, we were done.
it. I'm never talking about that again. I was riding around University Club.
Yeah, yes.
On my dirt bike with a cone on my head. with a,
I've
for,
seen that.
for a character I like to call Conehead.
Well, welcome to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
Tom.
Ross is over there. Samantha's over there. Oh, I wanted to chat about this quickly. I went back to DeLand for Easter and saw my mom.
Yes.
And my mom saw that my thumb was still painted because my hands look really, really good. And she commented on them. She's like, "Oh, your nails look really good." And I explained to her why I paint my thumb to keep me from picking the sides of my fucking nails because of anxiety.
Yeah.
And my mom goes, "Did you paint your wife's nails?" And I go, "Yeah, I actually did. One night while we were sitting there watching Game of Thrones, I painted Andrea's nails. I did a really good job."
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, "Yeah, did you charge for that?" You know what I'm saying? A little, and start elbowing me.
Oh.
And I'm like, "What do you mean? Did I charge?" I don't know why the voice of my mother suddenly became like some New York Italian. Yeah, did you charge for that, Shay? But my mom was inferring that I painted my wife's nails in order to get a blowjob.
Really?
Yes. She said, your father, he'd give me a back rub with all the lotions and everything, and, you know, he'd charge me for it, you know. And I'm like, what?
But now, does she mean blowjob? Because I
Yeah.
feel like that's harsh. Maybe
Well, she made the
hand towards the mouth?
to the mouth, you know, and then
Did she
stuck
do
her
the
tongue in
tongue?
the side of
Okay,
it.
yeah, yeah.
No, she didn't do that. But it would have been awesome if she was like, you know, yeah, I know.
I feel like girls don't give blowjobs like that, where they actually have a dick poking out the side of
We
their
have to have a
cheek.
giant dick to do that.
Yeah. Well, not
Most-
even that. It's just who rams the dick into the side of the
Sideways?
cheek sideways.
I do that. I do
no.
that. I go one side, and then let's get the other side, and then let's go back, and then let's get the
No.
roof of the mouth, and let's get under the tongue.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I brush my I brush.
You're sideways.
Well, when my wife is blowing me, I give her what I call the sonic air. I hit all the teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, rough.
The tour de molars is what I call it. Ross is just shaking his head. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Oh, that's my favorite one.
I thought it was a goddamn flying roach.
The fact that it's not a put on is what it makes it so good. Is that you look very scared. Good morning, everybody. Who's all in the chat room that we could say hi to? We got Casey and Paloma and EJ and we got Matt. We got Melissa's in there. SJ, DeBerry Joe. Hello, DeBerry Joe. If that's the authentic DeBerry Joe, he sat next to me during the Thanksgiving Soul Bears game.
Oh, cool.
Let me add one thing, and then what are we doing here?
Christmas really snuck up on us, huh?
Did it?
I don't know.
I've been Christmasing for a month.
Yeah, I mean, you said that she was a bad person for putting up her...
I didn't say bad. I just said
Stupid.
I said weirdo. I said weirdo.
He called me stupid weirdo.
Yeah, and then I was the stupid weirdo because I put mine up last year in like September. Remember? I was just like, "Fuck this! I'm putting it up."
I got all my presents under the tree.
I
Good
don't
to
have
go.
any presents, but I got the tree and the outdoor lights are done.
Probably comes
Yep, don't
to
say
no
it.
surprise to you guys, but I haven't done
check.
anything.
Check. Hey, you will. You'll get your Spider-Man out there, Spider-Web out there in a little bit, and drag it out there and
Old Christmas spider.
gang, gang, gang. Spray paint it green. Now it's a tree.
I haven't even looked to see what Crystal wants for Christmas.
Andrea sent me photos and like directions to the stores. Awesome.
Goddamn.
Well, because she knows I don't care. So she's like, what do you do when he doesn't care? You make him care. You give him the map to the treasures. All right. Would you like to start? Where are we putting this? It's not up there?
it's
God
not.
damn.
It's not cooperating today.
Mm-hmm. Try it again. Try it again for the first time. What are we doing? Here's a Monday one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Monday one?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a little Monday one. I can start. Is this a Thanksgiving-y Monday one? What do we want to go into? Just Thanksgiving-y type stuff?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start. Here we go. 3, 2. It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Hey, welcome back from your big Thanksgiving holiday. And Sam is here as well. Sorry,
here.
Sam. Yeah, Sam is here. Yeah, welcome back from the Thanksgiving holiday, the official time of year, I think, for most people. When you go and you do your Thanksgiving and then you come back, you know that Christmas is a-coming. It's on the track.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
chug-a-lugging. It's moving towards you. You better get them moving. You better get your decorations up. You got to put up the tree. You got to decorate the house. You got to get the lists. You got to buy the stuff. You got to plan the meals.
Yeah, so much work.
It is a
God.
lot of
God.
work. It's a lot of work.
I feel like there was a time where this wasn't this much work.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out when this was.
Cowboy time.
Well, yeah, but you were dying of your tooth rotting out.
Some
and
would
stuff,
choose that. You know, would you rather work in a
When-
barn to keep your horses alive, or would you rather go to the mall? I think you'd rather work in the barn.
Oof.
Because, okay,
You'd pick barn, wouldn't you?
I went to the mall a couple weeks ago, and
rough.
it was a nightmare.
It's rough. You got to know how to navigate it.
The
because
Florida Mall, which is
Oh, that's a
super busy.
Well, it's also a good one though, because they got the good stores there. But man, you got to know how to navigate it.
Because you could say that it's never been easier right now to Christmas shop because you could do it online, right?
Right.
So you don't
Yeah.
even have to go to
That
stores,
has
right?
burned me too many times because it's very difficult because now with the now people are paying reviewers to get on there and lie, or you know what I mean? Like reviews, there was a sweet spot when reviews meant something where they were well written and articulate, and but now I've been burned too many times buying stuff on Amazon. I get it, and I'm like, man, this is some chintzy crap.
You got to read the reviews.
Yeah, but
Even the
could-
reviews are wrong.
But you could scan through them and get kind of the
I'm an
gist of it.
old school. Let me hold it in my hands.
So, but okay, so it's never been easier now because of the internet. as
That's
far
what
as
they
you,
say.
You don't have to go to stores and the malls and all that, but the internet has also created tons of more tradition and things that we have to do now, like the elves, at least for
You
us
don't
that
have to
kids.
do the elves.
But it's like the keeping up with the Joneses, with the decorations and stuff.
But
I
you
feel
don't
that-
have to do that. You can weave your
don't?
way out of the tail if you want to.
No, you
You
don't.
just choose not to because you don't like hurting anybody's feelings. Once the elf is going, you'll elf till you die, till you're dead.
All I'm saying is it more now,
Yes,
or is it
more now.
Was it
Maybe
more
just
work in
see
the
it more
80s or
now.
90s?
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
is
crapping-
it easier or harder now?
Hold on.
It is the.
Here's my hot take,
Oh.
and you're not going to like it. It's exactly the same. Because some traditions have gone to the wayside, a la, I don't do a big Thanksgiving spread anymore, but I'm not going to say that day wasn't difficult in the things that we were trying to pull off. So you'll lose a few, right? You'll lose some of the cooking, you'll lose some of the recipes, you'll lose some of the elves along the way, but new things will creep up and will end up being the new traditions that you and your family continue. Like you.
Yeah.
Like you, for instance, the Kroom, that's a great one. Your Thanksgiving tradition is one of the finest in that I think you guys could do that until you're dead. But some of these things are going to age out. Some of them aren't going to work anymore.
No, I know. I'm just trying to figure
I think
out
it's the same.
if it's more work or less work now, and it could be the exact
Well, if
same.
you cow down to peer pressure, it will be more work.
Right.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
feel like you have to do the elf on a shelf, if you have to decorate your house, then yeah, it's more
I don't
work.
think he feels like he has to. I just think I summed it up
well,
pretty good.
society pressures.
Yeah, but you're not. That doesn't affect you. What
I
pressure
think it does.
Yeah, because
No.
my sons hear it from
That
all
is
their
the
friends.
pressure.
Yeah, but they hear it if all their friends are doing it, then they're wondering why aren't we doing it? So then that's, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, you're going to get that pressure. I'm just trying to figure out if back in the 90s or, you know, before social media and before, like, you know, Amazon and stuff, if that was more work getting ready for the holidays or if it's less work now because we have the internet.
Okay, let's analyze it a little bit.
Because people could just order they don't even have to
True.
go to the store at all.
True.
I
I
mean,
don't think I bought one thing in a store.
Yeah. You just
Because
order.
the thing I went to the mall for didn't even end up buying anything. Wasted time.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are certain things. Okay, I think as far as getting gifts, I think I'm going to give the check to Future. I'm going to say it's easier in the future. But as far lights, I'm going to go with the future. You can get companies like Mosquito Nix.
Yeah.
There's another company that I won't repeat, but around in Baldwin that you can use. Way more expensive than Mosquito Nix, I'll tell you that. But yeah, you can. So if you don't want to do your lights, you got companies that'll do it. Let's see. What else?
Yeah,
What else
it's
is
a-
the traditional stuff?
So maybe
Baking?
easier now,
It
yeah.
is. Okay, I'll go with that one. You can get gourmet,
Catered
friggin'
food.
badass
Yeah.
restaurants. Like you can get Ravenous Pig to cook you a turkey
Yeah.
with all the sides and the trimmings, like better than you can ever do. And don't fight me on that. Better than you can do.
Porky's.
Porky's
Yeah.
can smoke one. Guaranteed he can smoke it better than you can, and you can buy it.
And sides. Yeah,
and
you don't have to
take
do
it home.
anything.
It's not going to break the bank. It's usually pretty reasonable for those things.
But then, like, if you go back to the 90s, like, you didn't know what anybody else was doing except for in your neighborhood. So until your neighbors started putting up lights, then that was your, like, trigger, or like, oh, okay, maybe it's that, you know, that time or whatever. I know it's always been after Thanksgiving, but it's kind of been whatever the neighborhood did, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
now it's like instantly you're being inundated by pictures of all your friends and family's lights and displays, and that is triggering you to do work.
You are the
As opposed to
majority.
your next door neighbor.
You are in the majority. As I sat on my balcony with my potato of a West Highland Terrier, who I have a story about. I did a bet with the family. If Dansby Swanson, the shortstop for the Atlanta Braves, decides to leave, or second base rather, is he second? No, he's shortstop. If he leaves and goes to the Mariners, which is rumored, then I agree. The entire family agreed that we will change the name of the dog to Guy Fieri.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because the same hair. And Andrea was the only person that voted against this. Me and Maisie voted for it. That's how it works when you got three people in there. See, it wouldn't work in your house because you'd get a 2 and 2. It wouldn't work. Me and Maisie voted for Guy Fieri. And Maisie says he has the same hair. It's white. She loves Guy's Grocery Games. That's her favorite show. I'm forced to watch that every single. She switched.
She old meme all the grocery games.
I think she looks at it. She's like, it looks like my dad. I'm gonna watch it. Like I think.
I didn't know Guy Fieri was still on TV.
Dude, his show is bigger than it's ever been.
I thought it was like
okay.
his height was 2010.
No,
People love him.
People love him, including Juan, Christine, people in the True Six. There's a myriad of underground support for Guy Fieri. And if Dansby Swanson chooses to play the world's most dangerous game, if he wants to get paid out right after his wedding, because his wedding's coming up, my bet was that he wouldn't want to rock the boat in Atlanta. He's a Georgia boy. My vote was that he wouldn't want to do that to his fiance and to his in-laws and to his family by up and trying to chase the money like Freddie Freeman did, you dog. And I think I might be wrong. And then if that happens, we are naming that dog, or I'm sending in the paperwork to Missouri to physically change his birth certificate to say Guy Fieri Dennis.
He doesn't have a birth certificate, does he?
He does. This dog's got papers, dude. Yeah.
Well, papers are like.
Well, it's got his mom's name and his dad's. His mom's name is like Chattanooga Choo Choo Thompson 69.
Chattanooga Choo
and then her
Choo.
dad's name is like Santa's Little Helper of Love. And then they got those crazy dog horse race names.
So, how was your Thanksgiving? I know you went
Manic.
to
Can you hear?
the Solar
guy's
Bears
going
Can you
game.
hear it?
insane.
I'm going crazy.
Yeah. So you went to the Solar Bears game on that was early afternoon though,
Yeah,
right?
it's like right at noon, right?
He's
It
trying to
started?
change the subject on the
Yeah.
Guy Fieri dog thing
He's
because he
not
feels,
happy about
you know,
it.
he gets a soft
Well,
spot for Andrea, and he's like, I feel so bad for her that he's like, we got to get off of this because this guy's going crazy. I'm changing the dog's name if Dansby Swanson leaves the Braves. That's in stone. So would be said, so would be done.
You're gonna change the dog's name? That's insane.
All right. Don't bet me on this. I will go to the ends of the earth. I'll kill myself to change this dog's name.
Because you already have so much equity
He's
into
got a whole
that name.
Instagram page.
Yeah, you change the name too. I think it's like
I don't
$10.
think you can do that anymore on
No, it's like
Instagram.
$10. You used to be able to like change it. Anyway, you were asking about my Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's start with Maisie bouncing off the walls. Got up. So she got up like it was Christmas. She got up like 5:30. She's like, it's hockey day. got it bouncing off the walls. We get situated. We get our clothes on. We dressed inappropriately with jeans and, because we're thinking, we want to get in the holiday spirit. We want to get in the Thanksgiving spirit. And I ended up going back upstairs and changing into shorts. It was just too hot. I carried a sweatshirt just in case I got cool. Yeah, it was just hot. But so we made our way. The plan was to do Thanksgiving with the Solar Bears. Cannot speak any more highly of the Solar Bears staff, the people that were there. When you walked in the door, by the way, more people there than I thought. Like, there were a lot of people doing a unconventional Solar Bears hockey day. If you bought a little bit of merch at the merch table, I think it was like $50 or something. We could finally made our way through the merch thing. I got a hat. Maisie got the polar bear outfit.
I saw that, yeah, the head.
And then they gave us crazy Thanksgiving shirts that say, I'm thankful for hockey, like free shirts.
Nice.
It's got like the shades, like hanging out with a turkey. We got to see shades, get our photo made with them. The group of people that were there, DeBerry Joe, Mike B was down there, David was down there, a bunch of other people, listeners, were kind of like integrating in there, just having a good time. And man, it was awesome. It was incredible.
And so, but you still got out of there, what, like 2 p.m. or whatever, and plenty of time for dinner that night, right?
Did you eat there, like a lunch?
We got some snacks. I had to see if the Amway's popcorn is as good as my own popcorn. It is not.
Oh.
Not throwing shade, just,
That's
facts
just
are
facts.
facts. It's small batch. I do small batch craft popcorn where they can't even come close to what I'm doing. It's like Sierra Nevada versus a white label Mabel. So we, drinks are flowing. I'm having a couple ice cold draft beers, couple of little, what are they called? C pluses, C minuses, Coors Lights. And,
Is that what they're calling them?
Yeah, C minuses. I think that's what the kids are calling them now.
You know what I
What happened to
noticed?
Crispy Boys?
Crispy, that's Bud Light.
Yeah.
That's C minus is a Coors Light.
The amount of stores that are closed now on Thanksgiving
It's crazy.
are, I mean, basically every Walmart, Publix, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Even though, I needed some last minute stuff for our camping trip.
Yeah, I'm glad people are with their families.
And then I was like, we needed some those tiny camping propane things. Ours were empty, and we're like,
Right.
we need that. And then I'm like, I wonder if Walmart's open. At least maybe I was like, maybe they're open and they close early. And we looked and totally closed.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, good. I'm glad they're closed. They don't
Yeah,
need to be
finally.
open.
Yeah.
We don't need any more stomping.
Yeah, I don't need this stupid propane. I'm glad this store's closed.
that's on you,
I'm,
man.
I'm glad these people
I'll eat
are
my
not
beans
working.
cold.
I'm like, I'll figure out a different thing.
Like
I'm
a real cowboy.
Yeah.
I don't
I got a
need-
cast iron and some
Yeah.
wood. We'll make it work.
But I know you mentioned that inside the Amway there was Gringos wasn't, but it's good.
Yeah.
The employees don't need to be there. Gringos,
Oh, man.
there's some other gray hot dog
We
you
were
could eat. You know what I'm
fine.
saying? It's fine.
We were fine, and we went, and the people were so sweet. The Amway employees are so nice. And I went out of my way to wish every single person I came in contact with a happy Thanksgiving. And me and May kind of made it a game where we're going around and we're like, Daddy's got to get another beer before they close down on third period. So let's
Yeah.
go, come on. So we ran up there and I got myself a Coors Light, made my way back down with Maisie. The listeners are making fun of me because the steps at the Amway, yes, are the incorrect length for the length of my legs. So when I walk,
okay.
I walk like you walk carrying a beer because every step is like, gung,
Yeah, okay.
Go.
Yeah.
gung.
Yeah, the lower bowl, they are bigger
They're
steps.
steep, man. And for a little guy like me, I'm like climbing Machu Picchu to get a beer. So I climb Machu Picchu.
I never thought about the
Dude, it's
actual
crazy.
the step ratio
It's
is
terrible.
taller for
It's,
you.
Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea.
Yeah, like Sam, it's just the
No, it's
ratio
harder for her
small-
too. No, it's harder for
Well,
her
no,
too.
she's taller,
You're
but-
in the sweet spot. You got to be the 5'11" to 6'2". That is where you want to be, man. That's
I'm not that high. I'm
5'10"?
5'5".
Oh man, don't let your spine shrink.
Um,
So I get my Coors Light. I'm walking back down. I set it back into the cup holders. I don't know if you know, in lower bowl, the cup holders, and I don't know if they were designed like this or I don't know if it's from use, but the lower bowl cup holders, it's a circle. It's a metal circle, and you take the cold beer and you place it through it, and then it just holds it by the top of the cup.
Oh, the
Yeah, like
rim?
the ring.
Not the
Ooh.
rim. It kind of holds it by the circumference, the fat
Okay.
part of the cup, right? And it
Yeah,
holds
'cause
it in there.
The cup kind of tapers down and gets small, so it gets thicker at the top. So when you set it in there, it
It
right around the
holds it.
top.
And it works
stops
pretty good. Now, some of them, and I don't blame the Amway or anything, because look, man, that thing has to be put up, taken down almost every night of the week. God bless those people that are putting it together because it looks terrible. So I go to lift my cup. I'm like, oh, okay, this will work. Some of them, though, have this metal rod underneath to catch the bottom of the cup.
Sure.
Mine didn't have it, or it did it. I think it did, and it was like stuck down because, Solar Bears weren't playing so well. We were having a rough season. We're having a little patch. And we go to score a goal to even it up. Brand new Coors Lights in there. I stand up, just stood up. I put my hands up. I'm like, yeah! They cut, Jumbotron, everything. It pulled, when I stood up, my beer, I'll use this Diet Mountain Dew as if you can see this on twitch.tv/TomandDanLive. It pulled my beer down. And then it proceeded to trebuchet, rocket my beer into the face of a small child.
No.
It's like, hey! She cacao!
Oh,
And
man.
I didn't realize it because it's so loud in there. You don't even realize it didn't get it on me. It went completely behind me.
Okay.
I didn't get one sip of that damn beer.
it.
I didn't get a sip of my beer.
Splash
I look
zone.
back and there's a small, tiny. There's a
Covered in Coors
yeah, covered in Coors Light.
poured a beer on a baby.
I poured a beer. No,
Oh,
and
you're the
this-
bad one.
And this baby proceeded to take off his Tom and Dan shirt.
Oh, it was a Tom and Dan baby.
It was a Tom and Dan baby.
Of course
Yeah,
it
was
was.
a lister. And this baby proceeded.
That makes it okay.
This is a tough boy.
Yeah.
This little. By the way, he was dressed to the nines when I saw him. He had little boots, jeans. He had a Tom and Dan shirt. It looked great. He took his clothes off, his shirt off. He left his jeans and boots on, and he would whip his beer-soaked shirt.
Oh, I think I
around
know
with-
who that kid was.
And he's in the BDM
Yeah,
group,
yeah.
and you can see him. And his dad's just a wonderful man. And I bought him beers, and I'm.
You bought the baby a beer?
I bought the baby a beer. I bought the man a beer before I launched a beer into his son's face.
So
I think his name's Dave. I might be saying that wrong, but
it's John.
John? Is it John? Sorry, Dave. John, Dave.
so
I could
this
be wrong too, or there might have been two small children with their
No,
shirts
it
off.
was just one. But I'm running on adrenaline this morning.
So this
I
kid
apologize.
is gonna have a memory in the future
Oh, yeah.
where he tells his friends or his wife,
Yeah.
he's like,
He seemed unfazed, by the way. This
like-
kid is tough.
one
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
Dad does it all the time.
Yeah.
One Thanksgiving, my dad brought me to a
Hockey
hockey
game.
game
This drunk guy.
where these
And this little person that
podcasters.
couldn't walk the stairs launched a beer into my face.
And I had the shirt on. It was this podcast. The wife's gonna be a podcast. Like I haven't heard of that in a decade.
yes, yeah.
And
I
then it'll be the equivalent of radio in the future.
I felt so bad.
And then
Is it John? Did I get his name right? I probably did.
And then-
John, sorry.
one of
trying
the
to find it.
podcasters, he's dead now. he poured a beer into my head.
One of 'em.
And then I took my shirt off and I swung it around like a
Whipping it
helicopter.
around. Yeah, he was
Petey
full
Pablo.
on. Yeah,
There it is. What a reference.
he was whipping it around like Petey Pablo, and we were just. It was a good day. It didn't stop the fun. It did. Nobody was mad. There was no. It wasn't an episode. I felt bad. Andrea did
Has
make.
an innocent accent.
Andrea
I like
is a
that.
cheap person. She did make a comment about how much was that? $14, and you poured it on a kid's
Oh,
face.
good point,
Yeah,
yeah.
and she said she's cheap, and she got mad.
I do like, and I'll give it to the BDM parents in this scenario where they didn't freak out, get mad at you.
No,
or
it was an accident, man.
Or they weren't appalled, but they
No.
weren't some people are
partied
appalled by
through it.
accidents.
You do that at an NFL game, then your wife starts a fight. And then,
Yeah,
you're dead.
that's what I'm saying.
Then you're
I see
dead.
it
Yeah.
every week.
Every week, the wife starts the fight.
It's like you're holding two beers that are literally so full that they're ballooning over the top,
Yeah.
and then
There's a meniscus on the top.
you're trying to do the tiny walk sideways, and you spill you spill a little beer on the person who's sitting down in front of you, and then they turn around and they act like you smushed poo in their hair, like
You made me eat poo.
Well, it was like, hey, don't you realize this is an accident? Like, you turned around, like, I did this on purpose, or like you're super mad. But I mean, I understand you being like, oh, well, but if the person's like, hey, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Right.
People make mistakes. Why do people take it like
I don't
it's
know.
a
Personal attack.
a personal
Well,
attack?
this is why Section 118 rules, because the party.
Everybody's spilling beer on
Man,
everybody.
that kid, he was the toughest. That kid, shout out to him. He's a future BDM. He's the sweetest little dude you could ever see. He didn't even, he was unfazed. He was like, that's fine. I'll just whip this
Go
shirt.
Bears, go Bears.
Petey Pablo, go Bears. And and then after that, we ended up going to 2J's because, we were thinking, well, we probably need a real dinner. You know, let's try to get at least something in, Maisie, other than, you know, just garbage. And so we
Two J's is an odd choice for a Thanksgiving dinner.
we saw their ad, right?
If you
And
would have
could-
said, do you think Two J's will be open on Thanksgiving? I would have been like, no.
Really?
Like, I wouldn't
Where
think,
are old people going to go to eat Thanksgiving dinner?
I didn't know that Two
Yeah.
J's was a
You
destination
just
for Thanksgiving.
Aim for the Jewish deli, man. Like, I'm like, all right.
I mean, I go to Earl of Sandwich, so I'm with you.
Yeah, so I just
I
like.
guess sandwich places are.
They all have a Thanksgiving
Yeah,
sandwich.
Well,
yeah.
but Two
okay.
J's is not just known for
I
sandwiches.
found the baby swinging the shirt,
I
by
mean,
the way.
oh, okay. Was it John? I
It's
guess
John, yeah.
Sorry, John. I mean, I guess I don't know. I went with boring name. I'm like, it's got to be a boring name, like mine, Dan, John, Dave. But to John and his son, you guys are the best. Anyway, I'm at 2J's. We walk in. Andrea made a reservation. We are the youngest.
Wait a minute, a reservation for 2J's?
It was BF'd. It was
Okay.
wall to wall. If that play, that most
It
of
must be known for their
most of the
Thanksgiving.
people in 2J's with us immediately leaving 2J's died in the parking lot. That's how old.
They were
Everyone
old.
in there was 117.
I thought old people stayed with their family.
No.
Or do they have no family?
Old
They're
people-
too old for
too
family.
old for family.
Too old for family.
I'm kind of in that.
I guess you get to a certain point where if like you outlived all your family, and
I
then
did.
the only ones left
I'm
are
on
so
the-
young
yeah.
they don't want to hang out.
I'm
with
an
you.
early adopter to this whole, your family dies off thing. So I go with all the other people that don't have family. I take the two people that love me, no blood, just May, the other person, no blood there.
Was Maisie the youngest?
Oh my God!
By,
She was the youngest
By
in
70
2J's by
years.
70 years. Yeah. By 7, at least no.
besides from you guys.
66. Maybe.
Okay, all
but
right.
it was. We got an awesome punk rock waiter with 2 danglers. I made a comment. He didn't like the comment about his danglers, so I had to tip him real good. I was pissing everybody off accidentally. My chirping could get me into trouble at times because a waiter, it could be suspect, because Andrea had the audacity. I mean, I'm really going heavy on her today. Is she in there?
I haven't seen
Andrea
her.
goes, it's Thanksgiving. She goes, I'm kind of feeling like I don't want to use the coupon. I'm like, on Thanksgiving? God, no. Are you crazy? Don't do that. Put that down. I almost tackled her. I was like, what the F are you doing? You're so cheap. Why do you got to be so cheap?
well,
Because you give the coupon to the guy with the 2 danglers, and next thing you know, they're spitting your turkey pot pie because
Yeah.
he
No.
knows you're wanting half off, and then you're not going to tip.
No.
And all these old people swirling around him aren't tipping. You know they're not
Yeah.
tipping.
you know what? With the coupon, I do agree with you. Where I do feel like they feel that you're only
Like you're a
going to tip.
cheapskate, yeah.
Well, but
Yeah,
you're
don't
only going to
put
tip.
that away.
Like,
what the total was after the coupon.
Yes,
And
yeah,
you're not
which-
supposed to do that. You're supposed to
Of
tip
course.
the total.
Of course, and everybody, but I feel like I need to tell them because if you give them the coupon without telling them, like, listen, I'm going to tip on the, this is just screwing your company, which I know you don't care about. You care about your tip,
But then you have to over-explain
yeah, exactly,
that.
yeah. So I would
And there
rather
have
just
been-
not give them the coupon at all.
You know who's
I
ruined
don't
that?
even never
You're
used
right.
a coupon
But
before.
you're right. You know who's ruined that for people? The people that explain, use the coupon, and then lie and don't tip. Because there are those people too that will explain, oh yeah, and I'm going to tip you on the thing beforehand. Don't worry about it. And then they get in there.
Because then you leave before they see you. Or you tip on the discounted amount, which is ridiculous. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the person did the work for the full amount.
You
like,
pay at the table now at 2J's. I'm surprised they did that with all those old people in there. I was like, man, they'll take them a long time to get out of here. So we hauled ass.
What time did you go? What were you there? Peak old time?
3 p.m.
Oh,
baby.
oh,
Oh, early bird
3
special.
p.m.
No
Oh
wonder
my
everyone
God.
is old.
The gross ones are coming in.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that
Because
is,
if you
know-
go at 8, then you get the divorced dads and all the, what I'm
That's
saying?
fine.
You,
That's
you
fine.
get the alcoholic dad.
Now, the old people that are gross, and what I mean by that, the ones that are a little scalier, the ones that sometimes they make noises, they got the crusty breathing.
yeah, death
they-
is around the
yeah,
corner.
They're
right?
blowing their nose all
Yeah.
the time. They're gross. They slobber. They're wet. They're wet old people. So, but Maisie loved it. Food was great. Everybody got what they wanted to. I figured I'd give you a rundown of what we got. So, little old man got a traditional turkey plate.
Okay.
It had cornbread stuffing. It had turkey. It had cranberry. It had mashed potatoes. It had green beans. It had, what else did it have? It had carrots. It had.
This sounds great.
It had dessert that came with. I got like some sort of fudge pie or something. It was amazing. Really, really good. Andrea got shepherd's pie, which I thought was a weird choice. My daughter went
Yeah.
extra weird and got cheeseburgers.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Thanksgiving cheeseburger.
She got 2 cheeseburgers and fries. Her cheeseburgers were delightful.
You got
On fr-
2?
2 cheeseburgers.
Oh, like little sliders?
sliders.
Oh, okay.
Fresh baked bread, though. Their bread, oh my God, man. And then hers came with a black and white, one of their black and white cookies. It was great. So, yeah, we did all of that.
I like that.
It's a new tradition, I think. I think we're going to always. Maisie goes, well, what if Solar Bears aren't playing on Thanksgiving? I said, well, that's a good question. I said, here's what we'll do. We'll call it Sportsgiving, and I promise you, I'll try to find a sporting event somewhere in Orlando or around the surrounding areas. Even could go as far as Atlanta. And
You'll find something.
I'll
Yeah.
find
Yeah,
some
yeah.
sport, and we'll go to the sport, and we'll hoot and holler, and then we'll go to
I feel like
a dinner afterwards.
sports and Thanksgiving have always, combined. The NFL has been doing it, obviously, forever.
I can't remember it not being on.
And but I feel like because of the NFL and how popular that is, like other sports like Solar Bears and
Yeah.
other minor
was
league
great.
teams are going to always do sports on Thanksgiving. So because it forces you, your plans are already made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you know you're going to find some sporting event, and then it's like, all right, I don't have to think of anything. I think it will be
It's
sporting
our
event.
crew. No, like
Yeah.
I see that because the way she loved it, the music and everything. She likes and then she got to see
Just doing something.
Yeah, and she got to see. Here's something that the Solar Bears organization did that I thought was really cool. They are all about the families, and I love that because obviously we have young families. And the keeper, not the goalkeeper, but I guess the scorekeeper behind the actual goal that runs things, and he's got a job to do out there. At the warm up beforehand, they were taking practice shots, both teams. He went by and got some of the pucks that were stuck under the edge of the ice, and they were frozen. They had snow all over them, and he scooped them up, and then he came out and he handed them all out to the kids in our section 118. So he gave these kids these ice cold frozen snow pucks with real from the game. They had dings in them where they'd hit the glass and stuff like that. Maisie thought that was the coolest thing in the world.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
it was really, really cool. They do it right. So shout out to Solar Bears, and thank you for making my family extremely happy. It was great.
And again, we'll be out at the December 16th Solar Bears game, the whole show, and we got a bunch of friends of the show going out. So if you want your tickets, go to tomanddan.com.
Yep.
And we're section 118. You can get your ticket through there. Sam,
Yeah.
how was your Thanksgiving?
Great. I was blacked out of Disney, the parks, because that's what they do now for the tier system that I'm
Come on, Iger.
Yeah, Iger, loosen it up a little bit. But we did go out to Disney Springs. So Trav and I dressed up very Christmassy.
I love
We
it.
knew that there were photo opportunities out there. And that's a new thing we're going to start doing is we replace all the photos in our living room with whatever theme it is. So, we had a bunch of Halloween photos.
Oh, that's cool.
And now we're going to switch them out for some Christmas ones. Yeah, it's good. It wasn't that busy up until
I was
about
going to ask you.
about mid-afternoon. It's people around 3 probably. People started trickling in and it got a little more busy. But yeah, morning because we got there at 11 a.m. and there wasn't that many people
Nice.
there. We just popped around and grab a snack here, grab a drink there.
Did you sit down at a traditional restaurant for Thanksgiving dinner, or was it just a
Earl of
drink and-
sandwich, baby.
Okay, yeah.
You always do the Thanksgiving sandwich.
That's the dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I love it.
But they had seasonal snacks too. So we went to Hangar Bar and they had Thanksgiving croquettes. So it was a fried ball with stuffing and turkey inside on top of a sweet potato mash with a
that's
little
cool.
candied jam on top. It was delicious.
That's cute.
See, I feel like you guys are definitely doing it right because the traditional show up at your grandma's house and
Just
all
stuff
your
yourself
whole
and then you feel
You
family.
like
gotta
crap.
wait for hours.
I feel like no one looks forward to that
No.
except for maybe the grandparents that have can see their whole family, but it's everybody that all the different families, the brothers and sisters all going and meeting up. I feel like everybody's a pain in the ass for everybody.
It
And
is.
no one's looking forward to it.
I mean, you've been doing this for a minute where your Thanksgiving is kind of like an adventure or more fun. It's
People
it's-
should all
agree.
adopt some sort of thing beyond the just sitting at a table with all your family. Even though
Yeah.
that's good, it's just do
well,
something
it's only
earlier.
good if everybody gets along, right? And there's
Right.
no
Yeah.
drama.
Or if you
any
wanna
of that.
hang
yeah,
out with
if
the
you
people.
want to
Yeah.
be around your family.
Well,
but,
also,
you don't have to.
You can still do that. I mean, most people try to make that into a 6 to 9 hour thing, and why can't it just be a couple of hours, right?
Although I am jealous of how easy your guys' Thanksgiving is.
Yeah.
I every time I
You
do
have a
this,
lot of pulling and a lot
it
of
was just a
driving.
lift, a loading,
Yeah.
loading,
Carrying,
unloading,
a lot of carrying.
carrying. The amount of carrying.
Yeah.
It's just every year I even though I like doing it and I'm satisfied and I'm glad that my sons are doing this tradition that I did when I was a kid, and I get joy out of it. It just
You're the carrier now.
The amount of work it takes is absurd, and every time I'm saying when I'm carrying all day long, it takes a day to prepare for this whole thing, like a full day, and then a day to unload and get back. You know, it's like 2 full days of work for like the little sandwich.
If you're
in
like
between.
me, when you get home,
2 full days, 8 hours.
When you get home, do you just kind of throw everything everywhere? That's what I.
No,
used to,
it's. I mean,
it's everywhere.
It's the whole week of. My whole garage is wrecked. I have to return some 4-wheelers, get the forward.
You gotta remember everything you borrow.
Yeah, I gotta clean. There's mud everywhere. I gotta. I mean, it's a disaster. So a couple things that I got some funny stories for the BDM show, but some things that I noticed. So the RV, like this is the 3rd time we've rented an RV
You
this
got
year.
a big boy this time, right?
Yeah, how'd that go?
Got a big. It was fine towing it, although we decided to play it safe, and usually we take like 408 to the turnpike, and then turnpike over 27 to 27 over to 75. Like we're just hauling ass at the time, and like. We got on 408 to start to see, and it was a little sway.
A little sway.
And then Crystal said, she's like, the fresh water tank is full, and I'm like, full? Like, well, how much more weight is that? We load I got a 4-wheeler in the back of my truck, all the camping
my God,
gear.
You're beating the truck to death.
Like the ass end of my truck was I was sitting. Looking at the sky, like I believe all my shocks were basically bottomed out. Anyway, so I was just like, let's just take 50. So it took a little longer getting out there, but the RV itself is built like S. All these RVs
because they have to build them to be light.
Are horribly built, and then
particle board, plastic, aluminum.
That's why they got escorted out of Fort Wilderness, man. You can't have those things flying around in the wind.
Yeah. But what it told me is, I'm never buying one of these hunks of garbage.
You're giving up on the dream.
Oh well, no, I'm gonna rent one of these things for life
because they're just not.
Because we borrowed this one from this guy, and he the awning. The previous guy who rented it from him broke the awning, and there was a strap around it, and he's like, oh, what? This guy broke this.
Everything is jerry rigged.
Everything
is held together
Wouldn't
by
you
duct
charge
tape.
him to fix it though?
They're in the process of going through.
I still gotta get money, so I still gotta keep it rented.
Right.
And then it's the door, getting in and out of the door. You have to. You have to push it so it latches. Because it's all flimsy, flim-flam garbage.
You're sleeping in a
It's
shoebox.
a literal trailer,
And it's a
trailers are made better.
But it also,
I mean, the ones nowadays, yeah.
And then a guy at the campsite, because of course, all these dads wander around talking to each other about RVs.
Oh, you got a leak. You got a radon leak with it.
And they're all in some sort of state of disrepair. But this one guy told me that he's like, don't ever buy an RV that was made in 2020 or 2021 or 2022 because
Chinese drywall.
Well, they told me they upped the production because of the damn pandemic. It caused immediately everything to sell out.
Yeah,
and everybody wanted to go camping.
They were put together by monkeys.
And they doubled their production in every single factory and basically tried to push out as many as they could, and therefore they are built way more crappy than they were before.
Yeah,
and I was
cheap
like,
and fast.
Speed built.
Yeah. So anyway, and then another thing, the state park that we stay at, we have to use their showers, right? Because there's
sweet ammonia pee.
I've talked about this before, but
walk in, it smells like a cat house.
The campsites don't have full hookups; they just have water and electric. So
you can't take a deuce.
You can.
Well,
you can.
It just stays in your.
With the black water tank. But
tank.
the shower is a gray water, and the tanks fill up quick, right? And
Answer me this: if I poop in the shower, that goes.
And they go
Does that go to black water? Where's that go?
It all eventually goes in the same. You dump it all out, but it's this whole thing. I got a story in the BDM for the BDM show about the black water tank. I had a clog, and it was this whole thing. The orb got me a little bit.
Again,
little Orby.
But you can't shower there, so you have to shower at the state park. They have a bathroom.
My mom would always tell me, wear your flip-flops. You're going to get athlete's feet.
So
And I'd have to wear flip-flops. My dad wouldn't. I think my dad would carry his flip-flops, and then I think he'd set them on the bench, take a shower,
I brought
and
my
then
son to
carry
the-
them back. But
Okay.
I don't think my dad ever put them on. He'd just carry them to keep Mom from bitching.
So I'm torn because, like, I mentioned if Disney Springs was like busy or not as busy because
We were dreaming of Fort Wilderness.
no, well, the campsite at this place was like half full, and it was weird because last year it was completely sold out because and then the time before that they had actually made every other campsite you couldn't rent it because of COVID, right?
Right.
Which I remember I said
Saved a lot of lives.
But I sound
Saved a
stupid.
lot of lives.
The damn, you're 30 feet of the community.
Right.
Like
You're more than the 6 feet.
yeah, we're fine. Like between the two camps, you didn't have to go every other one, but everybody was doing whatever. Anyway, but I was surprised by the fact that it was half empty, and I was like, wonder what caused this. I was like, is it the gas prices? Is it because like the weather isn't that good? It was
Gas
weird.
is stabled.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
know
for
what
as
it was.
much as it can.
I just feel like everybody is
not camping anymore.
doing different stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you were saying,
Too
Solar
many
Bears
things to
actually there was
do.
actually quite
Too
a
many
few people
things, yeah.
there. So
Oh, dude,
yeah, there's
it-
so many options.
It
now.
filled in nicely. It did look like people forgot what time it was, and some of the Solar Bears people were like, "Oh crap, it's noon."
Right.
So, but the showers, because I every night I would shower in this horrible state park shower. That is
love
Like
those.
dim lit.
I like the way it echoes. I like being there alone.
not-
Oh god, it's like a
creepy.
horror movie.
I love
it
it.
is like
It's comforting to me.
There's the spiders.
Spiderwebs everywhere.
There was what appeared, and
They
I'm not
won't-
joking,
they
to
won't
be
mess with you.
a glory hole. Like,
Yes.
Why don't you
like,
try it out?
It was
The
literally.
old Croom Forest glory hole.
It's in the men's bathroom. If anybody's ever there, it's
well,
in
that's
the
where
men's
they always
shower.
are. They're not in the girls'
You didn't take a
bathroom.
picture of this?
I didn't. Someone stuffed some paper towels
Yeah,
in me
well, that's
because
they
what
didn't
you
want
do.
someone
Yeah.
peeking
That's
in.
you
what
could
you do.
see through it into the other shower
No,
stall.
you put paper towels in there when it's being renovated.
Anyway, but there's mud floor. Like what?
Oh wow,
The-
mud floor. That's a little far. There's no tile.
No, there's no tile, but it's
Oh,
like
you got to wear shoes now, or you're just gonna get mud feet.
it's a plastic insert into the shower area, and then water spills out, and there's a mud floor, and then the insert is horrible. I look
It's
around
to
and
make
I'm
your
like,
son's tough though, man.
no, well, okay, yes, because I'm like, maybe this keeps a bunch of people out of here. If the facilities were nicer,
You
we'd-
come out
there'd be
dirtier
more
than when
people
you went
here.
in there. You got mud feet.
But then I looked around and I'm like, there's just two showers. I'm like, around
Maybe
the
it wasn't a shower. Maybe it was just a glory hole. You kept taking your sons in there.
because everybody who stayed, like everybody in the campground, a lot of people have work trucks of some sort of AC company, plumbing company. Because
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
guys are into
Harder-
four wheels.
harder
right?
guys.
Yeah, they're like those guys, like construction company guys.
We like
that-
four wheelers.
Yeah,
we like
yeah.
plumbing, and we like glory holes.
It's
They're like,
the
what
way
do
we
you do
do
for
it.
a living? And you're like, I podcast.
yeah. I'm the weakest one
Why
there.
don't you?
Everybody there is a
Hey,
real
we
man.
got a
of 'em.
soft ear. It's come to try our glory hole.
But I do want to go around and then, like, between all the workers that know how to do this, like, we could build a better shower in 1 week. Like, all we need, I'll pay for the inserts, and then you guys can install this.
Yeah. What do you
like,
think?
we could
500
have
bucks? 500?
Yeah, like we could have better showers.
Why didn't you start a rally? Why didn't you get out there?
It's
Why didn't
ridiculous.
You should have stormed the glory hole.
we don't
These
have-
real men don't give a damn.
Knock it
I
all
know.
over.
Well, we
No,
don't have
they're
to live like
probably
this.
showering in their own better RVs.
Yes, yeah. Well, a lot of them, because they can't. There's only one dump
Yeah.
station. You can't shower
Like
in your
my
RV
mom
because
wouldn't
you'll
do
fill it up.
See, when I camped, my dad and I were forced to go to the glory hole to
Yeah,
shower.
uh-huh.
My mom, though, because she's a delicate lady and had a mega bush, my dad forced her to. No, she didn't force her. She would just shower in the camper. Because she was like more delicate, like my dad and I are in there, we're knocking everything down, and she would just, take
She
a
didn't wanna
whore's
go-
bath. No, she's not gonna go in there and stand in the mud. She doesn't get that dirty. Number one, she's
Yeah.
an elevated
Plus-
human being.
There's there's a wide gap. Like I'm standing there nude and I'm looking straight
Yeah.
through the
What's
like.
going? The gaps are getting bigger.
Yeah,
man.
the gaps are getting bigger.
Well, but
I'm straight
again,
staring at someone peeing. It's like this
Yeah.
is insane.
Again, I'm going around the loop with the four-wheeler and seeing every other guy's a construction guy, a plumber. They all have their work trucks. I'm like, we can. I'm virtually certain we
They're
all
on vacation. They're not trying to work.
I know, but it's like, can we get a better
I don't
shower?
think they
make
shower.
money. The damn tickets are $75
I don't
to
think
ride
they
your damn
shower.
arm.
I think they ride it and then they fall asleep with their boots on.
Also, like to ride in that place, the $75 ticket, right, or sticker, right?
Oh my God, it's like a lift ticket prices.
It's expensive. Now that's for the year or whatever.
Oh,
but
that's not
if you only go there once a year, then it is expensive. But anyway, the camping is only $25 a night, and and then like if you're a senior citizen, it's half the price. Like if my mom would have booked the campsite, it would have been like
Why don't
$12.
you have her book
Yeah,
it?
you shouldn't have her bucket.
Because I feel
Come on, man.
for $25 a night.
$12.
But yeah, that was so cheap. Like I'm like, I wouldn't mind paying a
12
little bit
bucks
more
and
if
a glory hole.
put it into the damn showers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
How are the girls' showers? The women's showers? Does your wife complain about that?
she said they're not as bad as I described, but she also calls me a P word, which I'm not. I'm like, what?
You're not. You're really not.
But,
that stuff doesn't bother
dude,
you.
I-
The only time I've seen you physically shook by a bathroom was in Las Vegas when you saw a toilet with
Okay.
40 turds in it. That's the only time I've ever seen him rattle.
I mean, I stand there in the mud and take the
Fine.
shower. It's okay.
Is it
but
cold or hot?
It's fine. I mean, well, the whole weekend was hot and muggy anyway.
No, I mean the
so-
shower.
The
Yeah,
water.
the shower, it has hot water.
Okay,
so,
that's
but
nice.
it's hot well water. You know,
Oh.
so it stinks a little bit, but it's fine. But they could be better. That's all I'm saying. For a small amount of
Build
money,
back better.
I feel like the park could put $1,000 into these things, and
Suggest it.
it would go like they'd
Dude,
be up by
I
100%.
got you one. Why don't you and I contact the state park and say we would like to donate the money, and we'll have it built. We'll gather some friends, Concrete Mike, some of the other building friends that we have. We'll donate the money and the time to go out there, and as long as they have a plaque that says Tom and Dan, the memorial showers, or not memorial. That means they're dead, but whatever.
Yeah. We'd sponsor
We
them.
spawn like a library.
And
at
we'll
a
paint it
college.
yellow.
But-
T&D golden showers.
But again,
Hey.
does it keep some people away from that place, and
I don't
is
think
it better?
people. No, I think people that
yeah.
camp don't care,
You're. But again, I mean,
or don't care that much where it's going to stop.
I
them.
get, yeah. That's what I would think too. But it's like,
I mean, Maisie probably wouldn't use it. She'd be a real weirdo about it.
and then I know we got to go, but and I'll tell the story on the BDM page or the BDM show. But my sons they play Manhunt in this little woods.
Manhunt.
Like
Like the video game is violent.
no, it's like basically a freeze tag, but
Yeah,
at
old
night.
school Manhunt.
Yeah, and
I don't think I ever played Manhunt.
Really?
they go out into the woods, and I really enjoy it because I like them going out into the woods with flashlight. And the other like kids from the campground go to this area, and they all play together.
Let's go to the glory hole.
But this year, the kids, there was a lot of teens, right?
Oh, smoking pot in the woods.
And I went over there with Tommy and Max, and then when the teens came, they started. I was happy that they were playing
Yeah.
with them, but
What's up, teens? I'm a teen too.
Oh my god.
I thought that the
What's
internet world.
Cuz? What's up, cuz?
It sounded like the VR, like
Yeah.
what they were
Yelling the
saying.
F
Yeah,
word. Oh,
they
yeah.
all the words, and they like it was the damn VR.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Come to
Among
life,
Us.
yeah.
Kids
Uh-huh.
got trash
But-
mouths.
Yeah, but it happens in real life
Yeah.
too. I thought it was
I
just
shut
the
'em
internet.
down.
It's
I see them.
No.
They're riding on their scooters and they're cursing by my house, and I'm sitting on my balcony. I pop up and I go, "Hey, why don't you mind your mouth when you're riding by my house? I'm becoming that guy.
I was
Don't
gonna
be cursing."
I was gonna say something because they were younger, like my sons are
Yeah.
younger or whatever.
And they
but,
should respect that.
but then again, I didn't want to be that because
You're getting
like,
your ass
Shut
beaten.
up, dumb old man.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, something I did. Tommy got pushed over. I'll
no.
tell the story on the BDM show, but
no.
Oh, we gotta go fight somebody now.
I'm embarrassed myself.
Oh, I can't wait.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you're not a
Mainly
medium,
in front of my niece.
Stop. If you're not a medium, sign up
Yeah.
at
Oh.
tomandan.com/registration. Oh, poor Becca.
And then I put ice in the toilet. This whole thing. Anyway, all right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I want to talk. Daniel mentioned this guy that fell off a cruise ship. Should we call Tony and ask him?
Yeah. We'll give Tony a call. His dream is to be on the show.
And then I want to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and the whole flight thing. And then we're going to call Tom Traxler and talk about World Cup stuff. So we'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
All right.
Yeah, I need Traxler's number.
All right. You want to call him next?
Yeah.
Here, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, let me give you my sister-in-law's number too. Maybe we just spend the next time. We'll just call. Boom, boom, boom. We'll talk to 3 different people.
Say boom, boom, boom. Let me say oh.
I love that song. Open contacts. Share. Sam. There you
Yeah,
go, Sam.
I was gonna write this down. I realized I could share too. Let me pee real quick. So I sent you Alex's. We'll just call her after. Should we call Tony and then Alex? Probably. I didn't.
Let's call. Let's do Traxler, Alex, Tony. Okay. What is this for?
That's Monday 1 and 2.
Today. All right. I texted Traxler, said we're calling in a few.
Get some more water. You mentioned to Tony we're gonna call him.
All right. Did you get that number? Okay. Cool. And he's the head coach of the Orlando Guardians, right?
Is let's see.
No, not the Guardians. The Crusaders.
Hey, Tom. It's Sam with Tom and Dan. Good. How are you? Okay. Are you able to talk with us now? Okay. All right. Let me just throw you on hold real quick. Okay. Line 1.
He's on line 1.
Yes.
Mr. Traxler, can you hear us, sir?
Hey, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, man. Good to talk to you. Thanks for doing a quick hit with us. We kind of lost track of time over the holidays, and we've been watching a lot of World Cup, and we figured it'd be a nice spot for us to talk about this and plug also some Central Florida Crusaders as well.
Oh, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. Hold on one second. You know how to do this. You've only done it a million times. Here we go. Hold on.
I may have forgotten, but we'll try.
Nah, you're great, man. Hold on one second. Here we go. And 3. Why don't you bring us back, sir?
Yep.
3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Okay, let's talk some World Cup here.
Okay. On the line with us now, you've known him from SoccerCast. You've known him as part of the broadcast team for the Orlando City Lions, my favorite broadcast team, not throwing shade, just facts, and also the new head coach of the Central Florida Crusaders, professional indoor soccer. It is our good friend, and we love welcome.
Tom Traxler's
There
on
it
the
is.
line now. How
I
you doing,
can't say
Tom?
welcoming back.
Wow, this is a great day. Let me tell you. I mean, of all the things I ever used to do, quite seriously, sitting once a week with you guys was like the most fun I ever had.
Well, we appreciate that, man, and it's good to hear your voice. How are things going with the new team? I know that's a lot. You're going to be, well, tell us a little bit about it. I don't want to assume things. So how's it going?
Yeah, no, the NISL, National Indoor Soccer League, we will start play. I think our first home game is slated. Our schedule's about to drop. Our first home game is going to be February the 5th.
Nice.
Edition Financial Arena. We have a men's team and a women's team.
There you go.
You know that? Yes. And I got to be honest with you, I'm excited about working with both because I'm the head coach of both. So it's like having two children, right? You know, you always tell your kids you love them equally, and you never really do. Maybe at different times you love one more than the other.
Sure.
You maybe balance it out. But really, honestly, I am so excited to work with the ladies, and we've got great players, honestly. Players from UCF, University of Florida, former Pride players, players familiar with the indoor scene here.
Nice.
I mean, I have got some insane ladies players, and honestly, I just can't wait to work with them. I mean, the guys, I'm going to be reunited with some of the guys I've worked with Seawolves as well.
Great.
As well as adding some players, so I'm excited about them. I really am. But I think we have two teams that will compete to win both their league titles in year one.
I love it. And everybody, all of our listeners, if you're into this, if you want to go to it, I'll just tell you right now, I'm on their webpage. CFLCrusaders.com is where you get all the info. There's a video podcast on there, a link that you can check out. You can see the rosters as they grow on there. Is awesome.
I love that it's at the UCF Arena, too.
Oh, I think it's a great place. I'll be giving you guys some tickets to give away, too.
Oh,
All
thanks.
right, great.
We appreciate that, man. So let's jump into some World Cup. Man,
Hello.
Lots of upsets, right?
Well, you know what? You had to know in a World Cup that is played at a time it never is that really odd things are going to happen, and thankfully they have, because it's been enthralling to say the very least. When you think a team is out of it, they're not.
Right.
You know, so many groups are still in contention going into the final days, and what more can you ask for? I mean, that leaves all the drama there. So I think it's been great from that perspective.
Well, Tom, let's talk about Team USA because speaking of getting out of the group, we tied versus Wales, we tied versus England, and now we play Iran, and then we're going to have to win.
We have to win
to get out of the group, correct?
That is right. We do. We have to get a win. A draw does not help us one way or the other, and that's probably the concerning thing, because the you've heard us say it, you've heard Adrian Heath say it, and it's true.
Yeah.
Goals change games, and goals win games. And the United States has struggled to score goals. We've only scored one. Now, the one we scored was a great goal. Connection between Pulisic and Weah. Weah making a great diagonal run across.
Yeah.
Pulisic with a well-timed ball. And I think that's the key to how the U.S. are going to score goals. They need to get forward. They need to commit bodies. They need to get runners, because honestly, they don't really have a great option at number 9. And I was talking with Giles Barnes the other day, and we were saying, ones and nines, goalkeepers and strikers, they save your job as a coach.
Yeah, and there's no true striker right now, or at least nobody that's kind of. Sometimes you'll see a guy assume that forward role. And were you as surprised, or you're a big English football guy, were you as surprised that England came out in my opinion so sluggish and sort of timid against a younger side? Were they? What was your take on that?
No, and I do want people to give the U.S. more credit. I think the U.S. didn't play badly, and I think some of England's problems came because of what the U.S. did. And I think Southgate kind of signaled it when he put in Henderson instead of Foden.
Yeah.
You put in Henderson, that's a signal to your team that, hey, we're shutting up shop. We're going to make sure we don't get scored on. We're getting out of here with a point.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
Yeah, and that's if you watch Southgate, he's a very cautious coach. Sometimes he hasn't at this World Cup, but he plays out of a 3-4-3 where 7 of the players will all be defensive, and he doesn't get forward. And mind you, he has players like Phil Foden, Grealish, Rashford. I mean, their attacking options are incredible. But he's the manager. I know a lot of people would like for England to play more adventurous because they've got great, as you saw against
they have the talent,
Iran.
I think.
Oh, as you saw against Iran, they had an early attacking movement where they got their fullbacks up because the U.S. were more sitting in like a 4-4-2. But they got their fullbacks up. They almost created a situation where they had 5 across the middle, and they used their fullbacks to trigger late runs by midfielders, and they carved the U.S. open once. And I thought you'd see more of it, and you never did. It was, and they never really found that numerical superiority in the midfield. It was kind of odd for me, but I also think the U.S. Played the game well. I think they need more composure in front of goal. I think that's that's something because they don't have a real great 9. So when they get chances, they've got to take the ones they get. Weston McKennie had a fantastic one. I wouldn't say it was an easy finish by any stretch of the imagination, but he probably had the best one for the U.S.
Yeah.
And those are ones that you need to turn into goals.
Any other team? Sorry. I didn't know.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, are there any other teams right now that you're thinking? I didn't expect. I'm trying to go through the games in my mind here. I didn't expect Belgium to look the way that they did. They were
they got in problems. You saw Vertonghen having words.
Yeah,
I think they've got.
They're falling. Their complete collapse at the. You're right with the words on the sidelines. The amount of problems that they have there. It was like a complete collapse of going into it. That was the team I told Andrea because she's in a betting pool at work. I was like, man, Belgium. I mean, has a lot of players that I love on it, and I was surprised to see them kind of fall apart like that. I know Tom's obviously going to have to ask your expertise moving forward into trying to get out of group stages because he's going to want to bet on this, and I want to bet on it too.
Well, so Tom, okay, let's go to basic, down to the base the question, because I have a general idea like where the Team USA sits as far as who's better than the Team USA, and like if I feel like
you learned a lot from Tom, you know your way around it for the most part.
Well, I'm just saying like as far as like our general listener that is not that into soccer, they kind of follow World Cup, and they'll probably think like I do, where if like any team in South America is better than Team USA,
right. Germany, France,
yeah, like all the the Spain, England, and like
I didn't even think Giroud was on that French team, and then they prop his old butt out there, and he looked pretty good.
Hey, and he's scoring goals.
Yeah, he looked great.
But then if you asked me before this, like, is Team USA better than Team Iran? And then I would have no idea. Like, I have no clue.
I would say no, but
I mean, how good is Iran? Like, I have no idea how good they are.
Everybody saw Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in their first group game, right?
Yeah.
Well, Iran beat Saudi Arabia in their qualifying. So
it's all over the place now.
I think Iran is they're actually a good team, and they can give you a lot of problems. And I look at things sometimes outside the game itself. And this is if you're Iran, this game alone, the opponent alone fuels your legs.
Sure.
There is you have to know there's a hatred that exists there.
Yeah.
And that's not lost on their players, and it's going to fuel their legs. Now, they have to be pragmatic because they have to know if you do open up, and if the U.S. can get Reyna on the pitch, and I think they can, especially if they move Weah to a 9, then I think you can move Reyna into his spot. The U.S. can open you up. If the U.S. want to play brave and the U.S. want to get forward, they can create chances, and I think they can score goals. And Weah certainly can score goals.
Yeah, and we kind of have to now because, again, do or die.
If we don't,
we do.
And that's the thing. I was looking at that, Tom, where right now on one of my books, the USA is favored by half a point, plus 102. So to me, I'm just the motivation of knowing you have to win or you're out will change the way that they play or have been playing, correct? Like they'll have to play way more forward.
You have to win, but you also can't go down early. You can't open up really early because, Iran can hurt. I mean, Iran have scored 4 goals. They scored 2 against England, 2 against Wales. You look at how they came, but they've scored 4 goals, and the U.S. have only scored 1. So I don't think you can open up and be crazy open. But at the same time, I think they have to approach it something like they approached the England game, and I think that's probably the way they'll play it.
Yeah, I think so.
Although I think that they need to get Reyna on the pitch, and I wouldn't mind seeing Aronson on the pitch as well. The question is, how do you get that mix when you're looking at, Pulisic and Weah, and I mean, you've got so many other players to fit in. It's a hard one for Berhalter, but I do hope among they get Reyna on the pitch. I think that will help them a lot. I like the U.S. in this game, but I think it's going to be tight. It actually could be 1-0. I'm going to say 1-0 or 2-1 U.S.
All right.
Okay. All right.
We'll be watching because it feels like, and you mentioned it earlier, because the World Cup is being played at a different time than normal, or as far as a time of year.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Well, it's caused me to not as watch as much because there's so much other things going on with Thanksgiving and the holidays, and then all the other sports that we can watch, and the NFL
special shows, special editions.
It actually caused me not to watch the other stuff I normally watch. So
yeah.
I shut down the NFL. I shut down the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm like, I got to watch the World Cup.
Yeah, I was banished to the balcony because the Rockettes were on, and with a dancer in my household, I was told that the Rockettes were more important than watching qualifying games for the final 16 of the World Cup, so I went to the balcony.
Blasphemy.
I know.
Well, Tom, we'll check in with you again as we move forward with the World Cup. But again, how can people get tickets for the Florida Crusaders?
Yeah, check Central Florida Crusaders. Check us out online, cflcrusaders.com. We're also going to be working, and I'll release some things. We're going to be working with a company called Spinzo that sells tickets. They work with NFL teams, MLB teams, NHL teams.
Oh, rad.
So we're working with them to sell our tickets. So yeah, we're going to be getting some more information out. Our schedule is just about to be completed. We're waiting on a few things from some other arenas in our league. And then the whole schedule's done, and then we'll be releasing season ticket packages. But they can go get season ticket packages now. And we'll start play at home February 5th. It'll be a short season, conclude in April. And hopefully, and I think both our men's and women's teams might be playing in that final in April. So we're really looking forward to it. And it's just a blast to be sitting here talking with you guys again.
Yeah,
It's been a long time, but it felt easy. It felt like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we miss you. We love you. Good luck with CFLCrusaders.com. Urging everybody to go there and throw them some support. And we'll call you or check back in as the World Cup unfolds. Okay.
You guys are great. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks,
Be
Tom.
good, man. That is Tom Traxler, your new head coach of the Central Florida Crusaders, both men and ladies indoor soccer league. That is the NISL.
It's hard with the World Cup and the national teams where, it does seem like there's been more upsets this year, and there's a lot more
I think there's a
competitiveness.
lot. Yeah, it seems like
But I don't know.
Here's what I think I'm seeing. I'm seeing youth. Like a lot of the teams that used to be the teams, right? You're seeing the younger players rise to the occasion. You're seeing other players struggle a little bit with age and with, you're seeing countries that are normally in the forefront not dominate as much as they have.
Yeah.
You're seeing some teams that didn't even make it, like Italy. Italy should be there. If you're a soccer fan, don't you expect to see Italy?
Yeah.
You expect to see them.
I mean, the stars 4 years ago are 4 years older, and that makes a difference. Like in a game,
there was a very interesting
technical
thing. Sam, you'll have to look this up. When did Qatar get were they awarded their
bid or
was
whatever?
it 2010, 2006? I want to say it was very early on. There are players now that
2010,
2010. Okay, there are all these people that are coming to some of these players and like, what do you think about the humanitarian thing that's happening in Qatar? And then the players are like, mother effer, I was 12 when this happened, and now I'm on the U.S. business. I don't have an opinion of that.
Yeah.
I was playing soccer. What are you talking about? When they were awarded this, you had plenty of time to shake this out. I was a 13-year-old boy. I didn't even have pubic hair, for Christ's sake. And you're trying to get me to weigh in on the humanitarian problems of this nation?
Could have been younger than that. Like, you could have been 10 years old. or
Dude,
whatever.
it's crazy. And some of these guys, 23, 24 years old, like, don't ask me that. Get out of my face with that. I don't want an opinion of that.
This is awarded when I was
that's on you, not me. I'm a child at that time. So I thought that was an interesting point.
Sam, you can call my sister-in-law now because I saw the Odell Beckham Jr. story.
Oh my God, what's happening with these receivers, man?
And then when I read the story, I was like, man, I got to talk to Alex about this. She's a flight attendant, and she could probably she could at least give me her perspective on what she thinks happened because
Do you
read
think
the story.
It's harder for her because she's an attractive flight attendant?
I can, well, the days have changed. I mean,
Was she
her
like
mom,
one of those old ladies that yells at somebody like, you sound, like one of those old, you get on a Frontier flight and sometimes you get some
I will
old.
say, unlike your wife, she picked up first ring.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
it's 'cause she is not
cares
jaded
more.
yet.
Yeah.
Have a weird grind her down. What
So,
line? What line?
Line 1.
Line 1? All right, let's see. Read that wrong.
hey, Alex, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
So I text Alex this morning. I'm like, I want to get her perspective on what she thinks happened because the story got released over the weekend that Odell Beckham Jr. got escorted off of a plane, and there was different reports. One that he was in and out of consciousness.
That was the
That
one
was
I
the
got.
initial one,
And,
yeah.
and
that's
then,
the one I got.
and then now it's being phrased as maybe the flight attendant was like, I guess the Odell Beckham Jr.'s lawyer is phrasing it like the flight attendant was with some sort of like power issue and wanted to.
Like you didn't put your seatbelt on fast enough.
Yeah.
An overzealous
Yes,
flight
yeah, yeah,
attendant
yeah.
framed this good citizen.
And then it sounded like he just refused to put a seatbelt on one time, and they unloaded the flight. They escorted him out with police, and it's like, well, that sounds ridiculous. But so, Alex, I don't know if you read the story. Did you read the story yet?
Yeah, I did. I've read a couple of the articles, and I know two things, and it's the same that you know, is one thing that happened was he seemed to be in and out of consciousness, like during taxi, and then they went to go tell him to put his seatbelt on, and he refused to put his seatbelt on. So that's what I know.
So let me ask, okay, Alex, so that's a story we all hear, but let me ask you, in the flight attendant industry, right? So I know there's certain protocol and there's certain safety regulations that you guys have been trained. Like if someone's intoxicated, it becomes a safety issue to take off. And if you recognize the person's so intoxicated that it could be a safety issue, then you're obligated to let your superiors know, and then they have to
Make a decision.
You have to let the pilot know, and then so let's talk about that because it seems like that a flight attendant, the last thing they want to do is escalate something to the point where they're deplaning or like taking everybody off the plane and then delaying the flight by 2 hours. Like it seems like
They don't want to do that.
That is the extreme. So let's talk about that. What's the protocol if someone isn't following directions? How many chances do you give them? Do you give them one chance and then you're allowed to boot them out? How does that work?
No, it takes a lot to get someone kicked off a plane. So if they went to him and he was like outright refusing, they usually go and get another flight attendant to kind of come in and maybe, sometimes if a flight attendant is
the old good attendant, bad attendant.
Sometimes it seems to be an issue just with the way it's directed. Like the first time saying, "Hey, I need you to put your seatbelt on," or some people can be like, "The way you're talking to me, I'm just not going to do it." So then usually we go and get another flight attendant to kind of like see if another face helps, and then if it seems to be such an issue, we can call the pilot, and if the pilots deem it to be that serious of an issue, then yes, they can go back to the gate and get police. But I mean, that takes a lot of work, and they were probably sitting there on the taxiway just waiting to get another gate for a while. So it's not something that is easy for us to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So they had to go through a lot.
That's what I wanted to ask you because it's kind of being framed
like
as
a knee jerk.
Like Odell Beckham Jr. was sitting there, maybe asleep, and then they
Sir, can you please put on your? I'm not doing that. I'm like, that's not what happened.
It seems like Odell Beckham either he was a complete D-head the entire time, refused to. And another thing too is like if you just say like you refuse to put on your seatbelt one time. They must have like you said. They bring in another flight attendant. They ask him and then he still refuses.
They try the gay flight attendant, then they try the big black mama flight attendant.
Yeah.
They try the guy flight.
No.
Yeah, they try to do anything they can not to have the situation get to where they have to escort the guy out with police, right?
Well, exactly. And I mean, if you're looking at it from an American Airlines standpoint, they don't want to be in the
Right.
media for this.
Correct.
Especially with someone who is a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they would have tried to do as much as possible to not have this be an issue. But, I mean, not following crew instructions is a, federal, it's a federal regulation. You have to listen to what we're saying, and we're doing it for your safety and the people around you.
It's on
so
the
if you're
ticket,
just
man.
being blatant and, being entitled and saying, no, I'm not going to do this because, I don't buckle my seatbelt in the car, or if I don't do this when I'm on a chartered jet, then, that's just a sense of entitlement, and they were probably over it.
That's what I thought.
So, so in your opinion, because
You're so sweet,
They were,
too. How
they
do
were
you
probably
do this?
trying to be nice by saying
Yeah.
we were concerned about his safety. He was in and
Yeah.
out of
He was
consciousness.
probably
When
acting
it's
like a
really, he was
D.
just tired and being a
Yeah.
D-head.
He was
yeah.
being a D-head, and then they were cool. It sounds like, I'm spinning this a little bit, but it sounds like Sam's right. They were cool in saying, well, he was in and out of consciousness, instead of saying, he refused, he's being kind of a D-head.
Yeah.
He was not. He said, I'm not going to do this. I'm bigger than you.
Well-
know who I am.
Well, which is ridiculous because he's taken thousands of flights. Like, this guy has
Yeah.
been an
professional flyer.
But even before that, he was a star in college. He was a star in high school. Like, this guy's flown around. So you know that you have to put on your seatbelt. So it's weird.
Maybe now
Right.
he thinks he's above it. I don't know.
Like, this is brought on by him.
Yeah.
And they tried to frame it like the flight attendant was being overzealous or, like, trying to
But
enforce
they
a rule.
always try to do that to the poor flight attendants. Alex, I'm sorry, man. It's not fair.
It's
You
like-
got a tough-ass job,
But
man, and I feel bad because, man, I'm the nicest person on a flight because I'm nervous to fly, and you guys saved my ass. So I'm so nice. I'm just like, oh, whatever you need, I'll get you a drink.
And so, Alex, let me ask you, like, final question. Can one flight attendant on a crew make the determination to call the cops and bring, like, or does it have to
No.
be, like,
The
a
captain,
group,
I would
right?
imagine.
No, yeah, it has to go through, I don't even know how many steps because I don't know American Airlines
Right.
company
Protocol,
policy
right.
with that. But no, one flight attendant does not have the say to kick someone off. It
Sounds
has to
like-
go through so many levels
sounds to
before
me-
even going back to the gate.
And the pilot
Yeah.
has to be involved, right?
It's like the
Because-
captain of the ship, right? You got to go to the captain.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have to contact the tower, to get another gate open to even get,
Off the
Go
turn
back,
around.
yeah.
Go, yeah.
Oh, my
like the
God.
flight attendant has no way to contact anyone.
Yeah. So,
And did they have to take everybody off the plane?
yeah,
Yes.
they
See,
have to,
man, this is a reason to
They-
hate this guy so much, man.
Yeah.
You know what? You go the way of every other wide receiver. You get on your high horse. You go like, you're just like AB. You're same, cut for the same cloth. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, since there was an incident a couple years ago where a person was refusing to get off of the plane, and so the police beat him up in front
the
of
dentist.
everyone.
Oh, was that the Asian?
the bloody nose dentist.
Bloody
Yeah,
nose.
Yeah.
Tom and
Yeah.
I love this video, and he
Yeah.
cried, and they
I
were
love
dragging
that.
him out,
So
and,
now-
I love that they beat him up.
and he was peeling the carpet up with his little Asian
Just
nails.
get up and listen. What are you gonna do? Like, you deserve that.
You're
Like,
crying. You're a
yeah,
doctor, and you're
like,
crying.
Just get up and get off, and then deal with it later. Like, you have to make them beat you up, and
People
then you
are
look like an
seeing you
idiot.
cry, and if that man knew I kept that video on my phone when I'm having a bad day to watch him cry on that plane.
So, but that changed the industry, right, Alex?
Yeah. So before, you could ask them to come on, and then they
Beat
would
'em
take
up.
you off and make you get your stuff. But now, for probably the publicity and for the safety of everyone, if he continued to refuse to get off the plane, that would be probably a safety issue for everyone around. So they
Right.
deplane so they can talk to him alone on the plane, and then it kind of explain what's happening, and then he can come off instead of it going viral with everyone pulling out their phones and watching it.
I've
in
always
case it
wanted to do
escalates.
that.
Oh yeah, and he's stronger than an Asian dentist.
Yeah, oh, man,
I've seen him
yeah.
catch a football.
I know, that guy. He's talented.
Yeah, it'll take a couple cops to
That
drag him
poor
off.
dentist. He's
Although,
crying his glasses off.
If you're sitting there, they're unloading all the plane. All the passengers are walking out. They know it's you, the
I look
D-head.
right at him. I go, F you.
And then what are you gonna like? Don't you realize? Like,
This is why
hey,
you're not signed with anybody, you piece of crap.
once they unload everybody, they're gonna get me off of this thing. Like, they're gonna tase me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be able to sit here and fly by myself. Like, it's gonna reach an episode where they're gonna shoot me with a taser.
But it would be cool.
You
It
know
would
what I'm saying?
be.
Like, that's gonna happen. Like, because they will follow the next protocol, which is shooting me with a taser if I don't listen to what they say. It's like, hey, you have to get up and get out of here.
Yeah.
Like this, and now if you don't do this, we will have to force you out.
Well, Alex, thank you for what you do. We appreciate you, and
Thank you.
we will be polite and kind on our flights.
When's the last? Like, how often does this happen, Alex? Like, when's the last time they've had to escort someone off with police with one of your flights?
I have never had to escalate it to that
Good.
point.
See, it doesn't happen very
Hey,
often.
and how many years have you been flying?
5 years.
Yeah.
So 5 years, Alex has never seen
Yeah.
it. So that's why, like, Odell Beckham Jr. is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a
that's
crazy
it. He's
person.
insane.
Yeah, there's
I
no
don't-
need to do this.
I don't know who needs
figured
to
it out.
who needs to hear that, but he's insane.
He shouldn't be allowed to
I
fly.
just want to put it out there
anymore.
that he's been in the media for not very good things over the past couple years. So the last people that should be blamed are the flight attendants. I'm just going to throw that out
Yeah,
there.
no, I agree with you.
Well, because I read the story and it does seem like people are like.
It actually seems like the airline's being cool.
It's Odell Beckham's publicist and lawyer that are putting out,
Yeah.
that, which is ridiculous. But
Yeah, it's a
all-
shame.
All right, Alex. Well, I'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
see ya. Bye.
Thanks so much. Why is she thanking us? She's so sweet. My God. man.
nice.
Good Lord.
So, in another story, this kind of related to travel is this cruise ship story.
Yeah.
Sam, did you
This
watch
is-
this?
This is
I didn't
nuts.
watch anything. Is there video of
Yo,
it?
there's
Oh,
video
no.
of them finding him, Sam.
I gotta look at
Sam,
this.
it's
Hold
gonna
on.
rattle your bones, man.
So
It is so scary because the camera's
Man, he's
down,
lucky.
and they pan the camera up, and it's on like night vision. You see his goofy
Yeah.
hands like, hey!
Yeah, but he's waving slow, which
Oh.
means like he didn't
Oh,
have
yeah.
that much time left. Like
No.
It is
So-
scary.
He was already like showing signs of hypothermia and stuff.
So, Sam, do you know the story? You give us
I
the
read
gist.
this, that Dan printed out. So basically, this guy was on a cruise. 28-year-old dude at Thursday, 8:25 on Thanksgiving. They were about 20 miles south of the Southwest Pass, Louisiana, after he apparently fell overboard. So he went to the bathroom, right? He was at the bar with his sister. He went off to the bathroom, never came back.
And they reported him missing.
They didn't
but-
report him missing until the next day
Yep.
at 2:30 p.m.
Well, that's how they do it on cruise ships. You got to let everything shake out.
Yeah. So,
Sorry. 2:30 p.m. was when the Coast Guard was alerted that he was missing,
Right.
and they didn't find him till 8:25 that night.
Okay,
so,
here's the video, Sam. I've got it up there for people to see.
So they didn't know he fell off until the next day. So that means like they believed he fell off over.
Look at that. Oh my
like,
God.
The
look at
night
that.
prior.
The night
Wednesday,
prior.
yeah.
Oh my
So
God,
I'm
look at this.
I'm sure the crew and the people that are experienced were like, this guy's dead for sure. Like he fell off 10 hours ago. Like he's done for.
Yes, the last time he was seen was Wednesday night at around 11 p.m. when he went to go use the bathroom, and then
That's
nobody.
what I do on cruise ships.
And then
You
it wasn't
eat the-
reported until the following
You
day
eat
at
the
2:30.
10:30 dinner. You get out of there fast. You're like, oh, I got diarrhea. You go right to your stateroom. You fall off.
So there is video camera night vision footage of the Coast Guard helicopter picking this guy
Yeah,
up.
here it
They
is.
found him.
Sam,
That is
look at this video,
crazy.
Sam. Look
which
at this.
Apparently,
They had a rescue boat from Venice, Florida, New
Look.
Orleans-based helicopter, as well as airplanes from Clearwater.
Look at this guy now waving. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there it is.
Help.
and
Just fighting the waves
So-
all night. Oh my God,
Big
it's my
waves.
worst nightmare.
Big swells.
so they suspected this guy had floated in the Gulf of Mexico for 15 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And now he's in stable condition. So I wonder if he'll release
6 hours later, they found him.
release a statement about how he fell off because
6 hours after it was reported he was missing. By
Okay,
the way.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, this is some. I think every black janitor at every high school has said it best when he says, "This is some bull s." I'm not going to say
Yeah.
it, but this is bull s. This something happened
showing
here.
signs of hypothermia, shock, dehydration, but was reported to be in stable condition
No.
by the Coast Guard late Friday morning.
How do you fall off a cruise ship? Man?
Okay.
you don't just fall off a cruise ship, man. You're doing something dumb.
how does it happen?
No,
does
you're
it
doing
happen?
something dumb.
Like
Or was it like the Call of the Wild thing? Did he jump?
No, he would have said that.
No, he
Oh,
wouldn't,
well,
because
there's
people
no
don't want to
statement.
admit that
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
an
He's gonna have
idiot.
to admit something. What is he gonna make up some crazy story?
Okay, because me and Daniel were talking about how do you accidentally fall off?
You
Because
can't.
I've been on enough cruises where it would take some effort to actually get into the water.
Children
like you
don't
would
even fall off of cruise ships, and they play on the.
Yeah,
just,
usually it's like somebody pushes their wife.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
I'm telling you,
Yeah, it's
this
like-
is some BS,
Yeah.
man.
and how the cruise ships and for if you've been on a cruise, you'll realize like most most of the time you look down and there's a deck below or lifeboats or something. Like you can't. There's no clean way to jump off until you got to a deck that there's no BS to hit. Like because
chairs.
There's other decks. There's lifeboats. Like it's
Yeah.
not an easy jump.
No.
Like now there's people that have fallen off their balconies, but usually they're sitting on it. But I've never heard of like someone who was at dinner. They walked to go to the bathroom and they slipped and fell.
I walked off the edge of the boat. No, it just doesn't
I
work.
have slipped and fell plenty of times on cruise ships,
Yeah.
but
But you
never
can't-
off the boat.
Yeah,
You're fine.
You can't like they don't make it easy to fall off a boat.
No.
Now, obviously because of safety. So how did he fall off? Well, he'll
And
tell
how did
the
he
story.
survive, man?
I don't think he'll tell the story. He's going
tread
to
water
lie.
for
This is
15
just,
hours.
I agree.
just the way everything is going with the news and people these days. And this is
He
a
was
judgment.
doing something dumb.
Yeah, this is a judgment
He
of
won't
character.
wanna admit it.
Right.
By himself?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, he's doing something dumb. He's
Like,
jumping
he's like-
around in his room. He's like taking edibles. He's jumping around, jumping on the bed. He's being stupid. He's playing with his pecker
Trying
in
to
the
climb
window.
down one
Yeah.
deck to the other. I
Yeah,
don't know.
He's flashing, trying to moon the other cruise ship. Remember when other cruise ships would come by and you'd moon the other like doing something dumb, and he fell off. And he's gonna lie, and he's never gonna tell the truth, and it's gonna die with him because people are crap now. And
Or-
they're not honest.
Or isn't it most likely he attempted suicide? Like
Could be.
Like it was just a split-second decision, and he jumped off, and then
Well,
when he
why
hit
would
the,
you go to dinner?
when he hit the water? Well, dude,
Just go straight to suicide.
Maybe something happened after dinner or at the bar.
Dude, suicide is a weird like
Sometimes
know.
it's instantaneous.
Think
yeah.
about it all the time.
impulsive. yeah. Like people just like will just walk.
People.
They'll walk to a bridge and then not even plan. Like that day will be a normal day and be like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like it's weirdo stuff like that. Like,
And why is it always Carnival? Does this go back to Tony and his? Tony has a intense hatred for Carnival. He hates it.
it's cheap. So I don't know if that plays.
He
into
calls
it.
it the Walmart of the seas, I think. But they're all kind of like that, you know. Like in my opinion.
If it was an attempted suicide, the irony of fighting so hard
Yeah,
to
yeah.
live,
Well,
you
no,
know what I'm
that's
saying?
the thing, where you-
Like that's crazy.
As soon
dude.
as he hit the water, he's like, "This was a
Regret.
bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna die instantly. I thought I would just hit
Yeah.
and die. I'm not. I'm gonna end up drowning and being pulled apart by a
Well,
shark."
because me and Daniel were talking, like,
God,
could,
that had to hurt
could
to hit that
you
water.
just tread water for 15 hours and you know the sea?
In 70-degree water.
Yeah,
yeah, it's cold.
I mean that's
cold. That's chill your bones cold.
You'll go hypothermic
Yep.
pretty quick, and,
Yeah.
and like even you think the water would be warmer because it's the Gulf of Mexico, but I guess
They
It's
get
also
you
at
out there.
night,
it's
too.
deep as hell too. But anyway,
God, scary thinking about what's all around you.
I mean,
and
he
there's
walked-
nothing to
No.
hold on
No.
to.
he did
And you're-
that.
I would have a panic attack and drown.
What, you wouldn't try to lay on your back. I would do that move where I try to lay on my back and then try to calm myself.
The
and
open water at night?
You'd have
Yeah.
to because you're not going to be
No.
able to. You don't want to kick your legs and people can. What's that up on the surface? You want to lay flat like a starfish. You want to make yourself a big surface
yeah.
area.
You
Put
don't-
your arms out and lay and kind of just roll with the waves and you just meditate. And
Here's the problem with laying like that. Hypothermia, you want to create some heat, and then you want to swim.
I'm gonna have to
And-
take a poop in the water.
Well, that's how you like. You want to move so that.
In the chat,
but
they're
you
like,
wanna-
why didn't the sister like instantly report it? I will say on one of the
People
Tom and
go
Dan
to bed
cruises,
sometimes.
people go to bed. They don't have their phones on. Their phones are dead.
maybe
And
you hook
go
up
and
with
knock
someone.
on their door, and
Yeah.
they're dead asleep. You can't. You know,
I didn't
we
make
lost a
it-
person for almost a full 24 hours on the first Tom and Dan cruise.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. He was
I
just
didn't-
asleep in his cabin.
Yeah,
didn't make it to your casino
99.9% everybody's just drunk,
Yeah.
asleep in the cabin,
Yeah.
or maybe they hooked up with someone. If you go to the
Oh
room,
yeah, I
that-
heard those too.
You know
Heard
what I'm
those
saying?
stories too.
and because your phone's at work and stuff, so
Yeah.
you wait to like falling off is never a thing until it is, and this guy's treading water for 15 hours. This is terrifying. He watched the cruise ship sail away in the night, which is also
But
terrifying
then you
to
watch
me.
this sail back to him, which has got to feel great.
Well, no,
No, once that helicopter, you can see them. They know where you're at. You gotta you gotta be like, God is good, and you're praising everything. You're
Tony's
like,
in the chat. He says sometimes we don't see friends for days on a ship. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't make it to your casino night on the last Tom and Dan cruise because I'd gotten so inebriated I was puking in a trash can.
Yeah.
And I came out later, and everybody's like, well, where are you?
And it sounds like they were partying, right? 11 p.m.'s last time she saw him. She probably stayed up late drinking, probably woke up
Yeah.
late,
You know what's weird is that
went to go get lunch. Is like, you know what? I still haven't found my brother.
another
back
report
at the
this.
stateroom.
Yeah.
like another shipping ship, like not a cruise ship, found him. And
Where do they put you? They put you down in the smoking quarter.
well,
The
they
drunk tank, right?
Yeah.
they just alerted the Coast Guard, and that's why they flew out to get
Isn't
him.
there
But-
another way to do it other than just do they just do the helicopter and the man on the tether because they can? Because I feel like they could just pull up in a boat and then like get a Zodiac out there, drag me into the Zodiac, and pull me back on. I think they do the helicopter crossing. We got a helicopter, and we got guys that are trained to do the helicopter. So we're gonna waste some government money. Let's do this, Joe.
Well,
right? That's how they do it, man.
I don't think the cargo ship that found him. I don't think they have the ability to launch a boat out the bottom like a cruise ship does.
Every big ass boat have a couple of little boats that you can launch off of it.
You would think for their own
safety,
like sailors
fixing
on that
things,
boat,
yeah.
They need a small boat to launch.
Release
I don't
the
know.
Zodiac, release the skiff.
But and then how? Like, are there people on a cargo ship just looking out in the sea
I
at
would
all
hope
times?
so, in case there's an iceberg.
Well, no, what they do
this
is
is the Gulf of Mexico.
I think that,
I know.
I think that goes maritime law, where then they alert somebody's off.
Someone has to be
so
looking
then
at the
they
water at all
have to do it.
times.
Then they have to. They're all looking.
Okay,
because you have to look.
So once they said man overboard,
yeah.
then they
alert everyone in the area.
Well, you are required by maritime law to do. I've heard these things on the thing, and then they
divert and go try to find someone.
If you don't do it, then you go to Poseidon's court, and Poseidon, he'll get you good.
I want to find out if this guy is going to say what happened.
No, he'll never say what happens,
or he'll lie if he does. Right?
But I'm telling you,
we'll
right now,
know the lie. Whatever statement, we'll know if it's the truth.
I
right?
will know in how fast the computers make decisions. I can know it in a nanosecond. Boom.
It is by far the most terrifying way.
Oh, it's one of my worst nightmares.
Do you think
open water?
Do you think he'll talk about like?
Oh, someone in the chat says they know somebody that fell off a cruise ship. Call back.
Oh, is that
Call
who
back
was,
Daddy Applesauce.
Oh, is that who was calling?
Yeah.
Now, there's been people that have been rescued, but they immediately, their people have said, like, oh, he fell off, and then they
saw
threw,
it. Yeah,
They're supposed to throw stuff out.
And
so
then
there's
there was
a line.
the man and the woman where you had the blood on the awning. Remember that one?
Yeah.
It was a murder. I heard about this one. Probably do an episode on it.
Oh, there's been plenty of murders where people get pushed, but I don't know.
I think if I fell off, I don't know.
All right, we got a Twitch chat.
Daddy Applesauce. So can you hear us?
Hey, howdy.
Hey, what's shaking, buddy? So you know somebody who actually fell off a cruise ship?
I do. I was with him when it happened.
Oh my God.
So what happened?
So let me preface this by stating I graduated from Flagler College in St. Augustine, and there wasn't a lot to do there.
Correct. I went there. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I knew you'd second that. But we went on one of the gambling cruise ships that went out of Georgia. I won't say which one. This was I want to say 13 years ago, but it was one of the longer trips. And I had a friend who was he was a smaller guy, wasn't very big at all, thin and small.
Was he a little
and
person?
He was notorious for, he was not. He was not. He was not an M word.
Okay. Thanks for calling.
But no, we would. It was notorious kind of for when he'd sit places, he would get up on a table, or he would get up on a bench, or I remember our apartment. He used to sit on our balcony, literally on the railing of the balcony.
So it was like a lemur or Zacchaeus, the wee little man who climbed in the tree so he could see Jesus when Jesus was walking to town.
I hate those guys. It's like I'll sit anywhere, guys, where they use everything as they'll sit on the side on the armrest of the couch instead of the couch.
My daughter is one of those people.
Just sit on the couch.
Yeah, it's a sit chirper.
Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're seeing where this is going. But this earned us our lifetime ban. Anyways, he got to the point he was up. He was winning. He was doing great. He got to the point where he came and flagged me, and he was like, hey, man, I need to step out. I'm ahead. I don't want to keep hitting the tables. Can you come smoke a cigarette with me? And back then I did. So I was like, sure, absolutely. Well, it was nothing else. We stepped outside. He lit up. He hopped up on the side of the ship, on the balcony. And I remember, turning around and saying to him, bro, I don't know where my lighter is. He went to reach in his pocket, and as he, scooted his butt back just enough, he fell straight down into the water.
Oh, my God.
How far? Because,
people were freaking out.
I mean, he must have been 30 feet
that
higher.
Small, skinny M-word just fell in the water.
Yeah, because the decks were that actually has a railing. It's pretty high up off the water.
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean it wasn't horribly high. I'll be very honest. I've been on many cruise ships in my life, and this one was not very high. But I'll tell you, it was everybody. I have never seen so many people freak out. The radios on the boat were going. Long story short, they thought, he jumped. They thought he was, we were college kids and we were drinking. Like, they thought he was playing a prank. We got talked to by the Port Authority.
Oh.
Hold on, how'd they save him? Like immediately?
They didn't save him. He died.
No. Like did they go? Like because they can't slow down that cruise ship fast, so do they launch the
Again,
boat?
it is a casino ship.
this
It's
is a
not
casino.
a big cruise ship.
They're like, release the chips.
Yeah,
I missed the part where it says Sun Cruise Casino.
Yeah.
What's that? The damn wedding boat? That's like from the boat I got married on. Like this is.
No, this was like 3 stories. It wasn't huge. It's definitely not like a carnival ship or
Okay.
anything. Just a big boat.
Right, gotcha.
And so they were able to turn around and scoop him up out of the water.
Yeah, so like the first thing was the guy that was beside me, he was, I guess, a formal naval officer, and he immediately ran and got like life vests and started just chucking shit in the water. And like all of these people just followed suit and just
Quick,
started
release the
taking,
trash.
like,
I'm ex-Navy. Put the trash in
Dump
the water.
everything in the ocean.
Yeah, quick.
That's what they're trying to do, I guess. Because then you
Leave
can,
a trail of trash so
Yes.
he can swim back to the boat.
You follow the trail
yeah,
of trash.
that's what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally what they did.
Throw your chips in the water. Throw your hot dogs, your hot dog buns, everything.
So
French
they
fries,
ba-
everything.
So they banned you both for life?
They did, yeah. We have a lifetime ban. And we explained, we were like, there. And again, this was like 12, 13 years ago. They didn't. The
No
cameras weren't there.
exceptions. Enjoy your ban.
I feel like a
Right.
lifetime ban for a casino
that's
cruise
a
ship.
good
You
thing.
would have looked out like
Yeah.
that. But actually, they did you a favor.
That's like
Yeah.
you are banned from smoking cigarettes ever again. All
It's
right.
being banned from Golden Corral. It's fine.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks
Yeah,
for
we're never
calling.
going back.
We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, be good.
Well, I thought it was
hung up on him.
like a little casino boat is different than a cruise ship.
Yeah,
like
Still terrifying though, right?
We were on one of those. Weren't we on was it a Tom and Dan boat? We got the alert that there was a vessel that had
Yes.
capsized. We saw the vessel from when we came around, and you could see the vessel out there, and you could see the people being rescued.
the helicopter came.
And the
yeah.
helicopter
Yeah,
came,
that
and then
was-
2 of the
yeah.
people were dead inside. As our boat was, and we're standing there holding like boat drinks, and 2 people are dead inside
Oh yeah,
that boat.
when people were watching, and then they announced that, and
Yeah.
everybody bummed
yeah.
everybody out. They were like, and 2 people have were deceased, and everyone's like, oh, like we're all drinking margaritas. There's no reason to even tell us that. We
don't tell us that part.
We don't need to know that information.
Good morning, sailors. Apparently, the boat that we passed earlier today was coming out of Cuba, and 2 people inside passed away.
Washy-washy.
Thanks a lot.
Keep that to
Appreciate-
yourself,
Yeah,
Captain.
God, why are you saying that?
All right.
Maybe he couldn't keep it to himself, though. Maybe he's like,
I have to tell someone.
had to get that off my chest.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Nice work. Easy when you haven't done this. I got a lot of energy.
Are you still locked out of your Facebook to post videos, or we got 2 backup accounts now?
No, we're on. Yeah, the Facebook one, I might have to wait it out.
You could go in
But we're
and
still
broadcast
on
or mine.
Twitch, and we're still on
YouTube.
YouTube.
I meant for
It's
the
too
BDM show
hard
later.
it won't connect through the other thing. It's like
Okay,
they're
yeah.
trying not to let you maneuver it as much as we are.
But for the BDM show, we could just log in through my Facebook.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, we'll be fine there.
Cool. All right. All right, Twitch. We'll see you on the BDM Facebook page for
Have a
the
good lunch,
BDM
y'all.
show.